I'm keeping it.
Every night before bed, I struggle to break you in half. As daunting as it may be, I wash you down with relief. Who knew something so tiny would pull me out of bed, make me a better mother, and make me nicer to myself? You helped me out of the darkness before I could help myself. You are my antidepressant. Depression is an occasional sadness. It's not a bad day or an argument. It's pain, it's fatigue in the strongest sense, and most importantly, a chemical imbalance. In fact, depression is such a gradual change in who you are that it can go completely unnoticed. Until one day it shows itself to the ones you love. It's not a matter of if it will, it's when. Depression shouts, it yells, and it trembles. Its ultimatum is to be heard. I was heard, and I found myself in a waiting room thanks to my husband. I can still remember how frozen I was waiting for them to call my name. I was ashamed, but at the same time, I was relieved to touch normalcy again. The prescription was exceptionally easy to get a hold of, and the doctor practically poured the pills into my hand. I was on my way. It took about 2 weeks to start seeing clearly again. The air was new, and I could go days without crying. And I was completely consoled by this beautiful man-made blanket that they called Zoloft. Everything was superb until it wasn't. My blanket would soon start to unravel stitch by stitch. Before I knew it, it had been 3 years with my miracle drug. What most physicians fail to mention is that this blanket is just that, a blanket. This insignificant pill would tie your emotions to a cinder block and throw them into the deepest part of the ocean. The thing about that is eventually they're going to rise to the surface. My underlying issues were never explored or solved. I was back to square one, but with a new symptom, dependence. Zoloft is a part of the group of medicines known as selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. It increases the activity of serotonin in your brain. What this means, and what my doctor never mentioned to me, was that it would be incredibly hard to discontinue. I am currently in the process of closing this chapter now as I say this. It isn't easy, and I loathe how much my body needs it to function now. I'm afraid of how I will be without it and the withdrawals. It is my necessary evil right now. It is my antidepressant.